Oh, we just waiting. I'm just waiting for my people to come. Yes, we are live here on YouTube and on TikTok. Isn't that amazing? I tell you. So glad to be in two places at one time. Hey, Beauty. Beauty 64. Awesome. Glad to have you here on TikTok. Glad to have y'all. It's amazing. Just amazing to have you here. It sure is. It's Sunday. Where are you from? Y'all give me some lights if you're just passing through. Oh goodness, it's so glad to have you. So glad to have you um just fellowshipping with us. I tell you, it's oh goodness. Yeah, I'll leave it at glow here. YouTube trying to make me look like something I'm not. But hey, hi, Athena Green, Monica Jordan, user. So glad y'all are here this morning. We're gonna talk about breaking up. Yep, is we're gonna talk about how to break up. Hi, Kevin, Kelvin, Bad Boy, and all of you good sweet people who are here on TikTok, YouTube, and wherever you may be today. I'm just glad to have you. I really am. And we're gonna talk about how to break up. Yeah, you got some people we just bring them in our lives. They have no business there, and it just doesn't work out. So, and a lot of times we don't know how to break up. We just don't know how to get away from them. We keep pulling them back in our lives, and no, they weren't any good for us in the first place. So, while we're waiting on others to join the live video, why don't you type in the box where you're from and how did you break up with someone? How did you finally how did you finally get away from them? You know, what did it take? Hey, good to have all of you here. Stick around. Let's talk. What did it take for you to finally get them out of your life? How did you break that soul tie? Okay, were you involved with a married man, a married woman, a relationship that it just didn't do you one bit of good, in an abusive relationship, anything that's toxic? How did you get out of it? Hello, Vanessa, Louis, Stephanie Young, Cookie, Shell Shell. Oh, I like that. Shell Shell. Kimmy, so glad you're here. Good morning, Emmanuel. Thank you. And to all of you who are passing out hearts and stars, thank you. So, Emmanuel, if you want to join as a guest, just let me know. I'm just curious. How do you break up with someone? It could be anything, anybody, any situation, any kind. And thank you, Emmanuel, for the likes. How do you get out of it? Before you get married, before you're involved with the right one, the wrong one gonna show up first. I've had friends that were in high school. They were high school sweethearts, and that's the only person that I could ever see them with. It looked like in high school everybody had a sweetheart except me. I just couldn't understand why. Oh, thank you, someone who gave all those likes. I could never understand why. You know, I just couldn't. It was like I just couldn't get that right person in my life in high school. Now you're young then. You don't know A from B or one from two. But that's where most of the time is where you establish your very first serious relationship is in high school. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have one. And why do you think you didn't have one, Emmanuel? Was you think there was any reason, or did you just not try to get anyone, or you weren't interested? What was that? And the thing is, the guys loved me. I mean, physically and all of that. I had that. I was smart, but it's just that they didn't want to get serious with me unless they were trying to get serious and I didn't know it. So, I was just out there. And please share this live. You might have a family member or a friend who's going through and they're trying to encourage themselves or get out of something, a relationship that they shouldn't be in. You know, you were overweight. Yeah, but there's somebody for everybody. And the first thing, unfortunately, the first thing that we look at is the physical appearance of an individual. That's sad, but we're human and we always go by our natural senses, what we see and all of that, and it's always the first thing that we look at is that physical thing. Physical thing. But the thing is, I will walk down the hallway and guys will whistle and all that stuff. And um I came to the conclusion maybe they just thought I was just for fun, or something. Uh, I don't know. But no, I didn't have that. Hey, fun girl. Thank you for joining. And thanks for all of the likes. Oh, you're so sweet today. We haven't even been here long and we've gotten some likes. So tell me in the inbox, who else? Did you have a high school sweetheart? Was that your first serious relationship? Anyone else? Hey, God's child. Glad to have you. Um, and at least you knew the reason, Emmanuel, and maybe you were shy too because some girls, some women, they they look at you a different way, so maybe you were a little shy. I'm not blaming it all on you. Everybody has their opinion about things, but naturally, in the course of life, is basically we start our first relationships in serious relationship in high school, and thank you, Emmanuel, and some of them lead to marriage or long term, and sometimes they do not. And hello, little Lucretia, glad to have you. In college, I did have a serious relationship. I'm beginning to think it was my very first serious um, relationship. So you can read about that later if I ever write a book. And if you check out my videos, you'll find out who that first serious relationship was. Emmanuel, I'm still glad that you're still here. So everyone else, y'all come back, YouTube. We gotta have you back here so we can talk about this. Love is strange. Emmanuel, thank you for all of the likes. I really do appreciate it. You're just being so sweet today. Me and you both are gonna like it. So this so you get out here. I found out on YouTube on TikTok, if you're not talking about sex or actually doing something to keep people's attention, they will not stay. And last week, I had a lot of people to engage in the conversation about relationships. And before we get married, before you find that right person who is going to enhance your life. So you understand this, Simon. I like that. All righty. And I appreciate that too. And Michelle, glad to have you here too. Glad to have all of you here. And Lisa, the ones who are passing through. But some people, sometimes you're fortunate to find that right person the first time. And sometimes you're not. Like me. I just couldn't stand. I was a late bloomer. But I did have a serious relationship in college, but it was toxic. It was not good for me. Tell you the truth, I didn't learn anything positive from the relationship. I really didn't. I didn't. I just learned a lot of negative stuff from that relationship. I didn't learn anything positive to take on, to take into my marriage or anything like that because the most serious relationship was in college. And then after that fell apart, and it should have fallen apart because it just was not good. It's not. And we have to know when it's time to walk away, to walk out of these relationships and not stay in them. We really do. Hey, Fat, glad you're here. Melis, Deborah, awesome. Candace, glad you're here too. We have to know when to walk away. So it was like in college, I had that toxic relationship. Then I got married. That's a whole different ball game right there. And marriage is more intense. Yeah, we have to make sure we get the right person. That's it. We don't play around with marriage. We don't just up marry somebody because they have money or good looks or anything like that. We got to know we got to know that me, that's it. We got to know. And a lot of times we don't know. We go by what we see right then, or what's in that relationship now. We don't look at the long term. And hi, Yvondas. Glad to have you here too. And we need to really look into the long term. Like, how is this going to pan out? Is this the one that's going to, stay with me or stay with? We have to make sure that's the one that's going to stay with us through everything. We don't know what life is going to throw our way. We don't know. We just don't know. And we have to make sure that we get the right one who's going to be our ride or die, who's going to stay with us through all of it instead of just passing through. Now, boyfriends and girlfriends, they just pass through. But I'm a strong believer in learning from every relationship. Hey, Charlene, good to see you. Is it Shirley Ann? Oh, that's a pretty name. It is. That's a beautiful name. Thanks for passing through here. We just have to make sure. Got to make sure that's the right one. And regardless, like if you go through sickness or you lose a limb, gain weight, lose your job, are they gonna stick with me or they gonna depart? Lose your money. Came in a relationship, you had plenty of money, and then all of that stopped. Is she gonna pack her bags and leave, or is he gonna pack his bags and leave? So we can't be just grabbing people up for it and saying we're gonna marry them just for the sake of getting married. We can't do that. This is too serious. So, anyone else? Can you remember your first serious relationship? When was that? Mine was in college. Emmanuel, where was your first serious relationship? Tell me about it. You don't have to go in details. You don't. So your very first serious relationship. Who can remember? Anybody here who can remember that? Or who wants to share that? Well, like I said earlier, how you doing? New visit 1992. Oh man. Mine was in 1991. No, it was in 1986, college. Sorry. I got married in 91 to someone entirely different from that college boyfriend. I don't even know what happened to him by the end. How, this nice. Was it a good first relationship in your opinion, from what you knew then? Because it seemed like in 1992, it seemed like I was so young. I was so young. That's when you were young, young. But mine was no, it really was in 86 because I had left college in 1986. I went to college 77. It was in 78, 79 and all that. And believe it or not, in the beginning that's the way it normally is in a relationship. Most time in the beginning, it's all hearts and flowers and you can't wait to be with each other. You're all excited. And wonder what causes stuff to kind of fizzle off, Because sometimes it just fizzles off. And that's it. And all this other, but you got to know when it starts fizzling off, I think it's just, it's too much work. If you got to work to keep it going, it's not the right thing. It's not the relationship you should be in. Anybody disagree? Anyone disagree? Hi, Roberto, Andres Blanco Diaz, Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Yeah, in the beginning, it's always good. It really is. But if you got to work hard and you keep getting bored, that's something wrong. That's not the one. Hi, Patricia Nelson and Bertha. Hey. Yeah. That's not the one. Black Cotton, glad to have you here. See you passing through. It's too much work. Now, but now it took, believe it or not, it took 7 years. 7 years to get out of my very first serious relationship. Mm-hmm. I started 70, was it 70? And it ended in 86, but I married someone else in 91. I got my dates mixed up, you know? Yeah. And the reason it took 7 years is because I didn't know how to get out of it. I thought that was the best that I could do. Yep. I thought that he was the best that I could do it, and God knows he was not. Um, so sometimes hi Elijah, sometimes we get stuck and we think that's the best relationship that we can have, that we can't do any better. And my self-esteem was so low until, that's where I was. I just couldn't let that other person go because I thought that I could not do any better. Hey, Sexy Slim and Candy, Nikki Parker, welcome. Lovely D Lovely. Isn't that cute? Lovely D Ovary. Sometimes we stay in these bad relationships because we feel like that's the best we can do. We don't want to be alone. And that's not a good place to be in. We have to know when to let go. Yeah. No, but no, Emmanuel, you can't stay down there like that. You can't. You have to talk to yourself. Speak positive to yourself daily and say, I deserve the best and I will receive the best. And speak positive words. In my world, I say, hey, over here, you too. I speak the scriptures. I deserve the best. And I will receive that person in my life who's supposed to be there, that exceedingly abundantly above all which I ask or think. So, don't everybody goes through something in life, and it pulls at our heart, pulls at our mind, tries to destroy our spirit, but we can't let it keep us in that place. See, that's why my self-esteem was low, because I felt like I didn't deserve any better, but you deserve better. We all deserve better. We don't deserve the worst. So I read somewhere, and it is so true, that we are with who we think we deserve to be with. The person you choose, the person that you're in a relationship with, is who you think you deserve to be with. And that's true. Hey, Debbie, good to have you. If you want to join the live, you can. Thank you, all of you guys, sweet people, for passing through it and leaving hearts. You know, you can't just put yourself down there and feel like you don't deserve any better, because you do deserve better. You deserve better. We all deserve better. So don't say that to yourself. Don't do that. But I'm gonna tell you, my self-esteem was rock bottom. And Tony, glad to have you, Tony Buchanan. Thank you for passing through. But when your self-esteem is low, you settle for anything and anybody because you feel like that's what you deserve. And how you doing, Burlish? I can't pronounce all your name, but glad to have you here. And you would stay in it just so it justifies the fact that you have somebody. And that's so sad. And staying in a bad relationship like that would take you to an early grave, because you will die of unhappiness. Just because you've been hurt or disappointed once in your life, it does not determine who you are. It doesn't define that you're that person. Everybody was young at least once in their lives, and everybody make mistakes. But don't let those mistakes cause you to stay in one spot and constantly put yourself in these terrible relationships with people who could care less about you and do not have your best, your best interests at heart. Because everybody make mistakes. Hello, who's that? P.A. Carroll or Pat Carroll? Deshawn, thank you for passing through. But you have to realize you're not obligated to stay in a relationship that's detrimental to you, that's not pulling you up, because iron sharpens iron. The right person at the right time will help pull you up and stand by you through everything. Yes, Emmanuel, you're correct. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We don't allow our mistakes to take us out of here, because we're all going to make some kind of foolish mistake before we leave this world. We make them when we're young, and we make mistakes when we are old. It happens. It happens. I mean, I've known women who were scammed um, online. They got in these make believe relationships with these make believe photos. It was just an image, how these Nigerians do that. And when they found out that they had been scammed, they felt horrible. They were so ashamed. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know, how to pull themselves up. So they just got in fellowship with other people who went through the same thing that they did, and they encouraged each other and pulled each other up out of it, so they could know, you're not alone. That's a blessing, Emmanuel. I'm glad you've never been scammed, and that's wonderful. See, and you didn't allow that to happen to you. But there are a lot of people who have been scammed, and it just kind of messed with them. It just messed up their self-esteem. Yeah, it just did, and it put them in a bad place. And so it's a blessing not to be scammed. Now we have information and we can spot the scammers. But prior to that, you just didn't know. You were just taking people at their word while you were talking to them. How you doing over here, you two? While you were talking to them on whatever social media platform. I don't do that. I don't believe in online dating. Just something I'm not into. Oh goodness. And because of that, I don't trust that. But you deserve better, and you deserve to be happy. Yeah, you deserve a second chance. How you doing, PMO? Glad you passed through. All right, so I just tried this out today on YouTube and TikTok simultaneously to see how it will work. Yeah, I think everybody has trust issues, Emmanuel. Especially if you've been deceived. You put your heart and soul in a relationship with one person, and you feel like, and you are under the impression that they're giving you their 100% too. And then you find out that they're not, you know. That's the way it was with me in my very first serious relationship. So, and that causes you not to trust people. And what's more, sometimes it's hard for people, to pull themselves up and to start over again because of that. You know, it it's hard. And but see, those trust issues, and I've been through that too. They put up a wall. They build a wall in your heart, around your heart, uh, and it just keeps you from growing. And I say you don't have to trust everybody, but you can watch. Be careful. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't trust anybody and everybody. Yeah, my late ex-husband passed away going on 3 years ago. But we remain close as friends, because we raised a family together. And, but I've always had men trying to come into my life regardless. But you just have to be careful and always remember you are with who you think you deserve to be with. Well, thank you, Emmanuel. It was tough for a while, but we made it through by the grace of God. But you are with who you think that you deserve to be with. So you look. If you're in a relationship now, you look into it. Go ahead and look into it and do some self evaluation. Say, do I deserve this person? And what's more, do they deserve me? Say, do I deserve to be receiving this? Do I deserve what I'm getting from this? And if you don't, you look because your relationship mirrors you. That's who you think that you are. That's the best you can do. So yeah, take a look at it and question it, and you pray and ask God, say, is this the one, or should I look for another? Can't be playing around with marriage like that. But then there's some people in this world who do not have any scruples. They don't have any morals. They're just running the game all the time. They always just want to run a game. And men and women, there's they just running the game. Their hearts are made of stone. They don't care who they hurt, who they use, or who they drag down. And that's why we have to pray and say, God, is this the one, or should I look for another? He's the only source I know of that will tell us the absolute truth, whether you believe in him or not. He's the only one to go through. That's the one to go through to find out. Because some of them, they just want to run a game. They want to run from one woman to the next or one man to the next, have somewhere to stay, take their money, cause division, break their heart, move on to the next one and never look back. And I'm telling you, we don't want that kind of person to cohabitate with, because you become one spiritually, one physically when you lay down with that person and consummate that relationship. You don't want their troubles. I said they're just in it for the game. They're not in it for serious thing. There's some people who are so addicted to pornography until they cannot be with a real woman or a real man, because they have that image in their mind about what another human being is supposed to be like. And it's not like that. They're in that fantasy world. You ever meet someone, and I've met guys like this because I drive for Uber, and I love being out there meeting people, and invite them to my videos and to the ministry. And, they see me from the back because I have a camera. And I don't turn around and look to them, and I try not to engage in conversation with them. Hello, Doris Williams, you know. But sometimes they see the back of my head and my nails that are done. And that's what they see. And that's what they try to go with, because they're into that fantasy world. There's some black men who prefer light-skinned women. That's what they fantasize about. That's all they want, with huge bottoms. And they miss out on the beautiful brown woman, the skinny brown woman who has more morals, who would stick by them, sickness and health, the death do them part. Because they're too busy chasing that fantasy of a light skinned woman with long hair, or even just a light skinned woman. And they don't know what kind of heart she has, and nothing. And the same thing, with some women, they prefer a certain tall, skinny um, type, and they miss out on the average guy because he might be the full package. He just doesn't look like the full package. I know everybody's physically attracted to what they're physically attracted to, but sometimes we just have to take our time and get to know a person and find out if they're going to benefit our lives, spiritually, most of all. Because how can two walk together except they agree? All right. Who else is here? Sis finally free. Yay, good for you. I know the feeling. I don't know what you were free from, but I'm with you on that. I'm all for freedom. All for it. Yeah, I love talking with y'all today. Y'all have been so sweet, so engaging, and I just tried this out. I didn't expect to have a lot of viewers today, but the hearts, the likes, oh, almost 7,000 likes. I love it over here in TikTok. But, you deserve better. Remember that. You are with who you think you deserve to be with. So it depends on your self esteem. So, Emmanuel, that's why we got to pull our self esteem up because if our self esteem is low, we will hook up with anything. And we don't want to do that anymore. You feel like that's why a lot of men and women are in abusive relationships because they feel like that's the best that they can do. Their self esteem has been beat down to that point, and they don't want to get out of it. They don't want to let go of it because they feel like that's the best that they can do. Or are you with someone who's constantly cheating on you or abusing you or just not treating you good at all? And you say, this is the best I can do. No, you can do better. It's not the best you can do. All right, you two. I was waiting to see if you were going to join the conversation. I don't see any conversation going on over there, but I do see a viewer or two. Um, and I just want to say thank you, Emmanuel, for talking with me today. And everyone else who passed through here on TikTok. I love videos, love conversing with people. And you can find me every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock on Facebook and on YouTube, teaching Bible lessons. But today I was just talking to our hearts. Yes, there are many forms of abuse, emotional abuse. Yep, that's true. Yep, spiritual abuse in churches. That's a whole different relationship we need to break away from. There are many forms of abuse. And I was in an abusive relationship with my very first serious relationship in college. It was abusive emotionally. He tried me physically, but and spiritually, all different levels, all different kinds of abuse. And a lot of times when our self esteem is low, we don't recognize it, or either you just don't want to see it, you because you feel like this is my boo, this is my baby, and I gotta stick by him, I gotta be there, but it's no, you can walk away. You don't have to stay in it. You don't have to stay in it. You don't. Isn't that right, Daddy Davis? Glad to have you stop by. There's so many different forms. Emmanuel, I hope to see you again here on TikTok. And thank you so much for the conversation. I'm getting ready to, I guess, get my, and for the likes, you gave me a lot of hearts and that drew a lot of people in. So I really appreciate that. I certainly do. Thank you. You are such a kind spirit, such a very kind person. And I'm glad that we've encountered each other today. And over here in YouTube, I don't know who you are, but thank you for stopping by. Y'all know Evangelist Chambers or Pastor Chambers, whatever you call me. I love trying a lot of new things, and I love talking with people from all over the world. I'll be on You Now later on this evening. That's a different platform. But it's so glad to be with you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Come back to see us again. And leave a message over here, YouTube. Let me know who you are. Emmanuel, I'm getting ready to go. Got to cook that Sunday dinner, but I hope to see you again. And thank you so much for your love, your kind words. And you will see better days. You will see better days. You will see better days. God bless you. Goodbye. All righty, TikTok. Hey, love you. You too.